Okay, so first and foremost, what are we doing and why and who? The who, what, when, where, and why. So who is this good for? Let's start with that. This detox program was written by Dr. Mark Hyman and Dr. Alberto Vioto. And they wrote it, the inspiration was actually when Dr. Vioto himself was ill. And they had a bit more of an intense program for Dr. Vioto, who was a healer, is a healer, a medical anthropologist, a neuroscientist, and he found himself ill. Super healthy guy his whole life. And later in his years, he found himself actually deathly ill. And so he sought out the advice of his trusted friend, Dr. Mark Hyman, and they created this program, which was part of his healing journey. And why was he sick? He was exposed to parasites and bacteria and various pathogens in the different parts of the world than where he was from. He spent many, I think it was like 35, 40 years in the jungles of um, the Amazon jungles and the Andes Mountains and a variety of different places. So so this was written for him. Now, I was introduced to this program. This is one of the books. This one is written by Dr. Alberto Vioto, and I was introduced to the program in his school. So you were required to do the program once, and if that didn't do the trick, twice. So I got to do it twice. And there was very little guidance. You got literally one, maybe 3-minute video per day, and you were supposed to do the program. And so the second time around, I did a little better than the first time around. And so the program was toned down, if you will, to be accessible and approachable to the masses, the people, because it wasn't written for a specific toxin. It was written to give our body an opportunity to detox, which it rarely gets. And so they rewrote the program so that they could write books. They each wrote a book about it and they offered it to the world. And in Dr. Alberto's school, it's a required part that you must go through that in order to attain a higher level of health and well-being and cognitive function, which is part of what the school is all about. So it's amazing, and it is great for, I don't want to say every single person in the world, because there could be a circumstance where your body is not quite ready for a detox. And that would be perhaps if you are undergoing chemotherapy, or you are maybe, not well. You're actually, you have something going on that's keeping you home every day, that is not allowing you to be mobile, that you may be having, severe respiratory dysfunction, certain things that you need to get those things treated and stabilized before engaging in any detox. So um, those are some of the things. A lot of people, if they're pregnant and nursing, they want to wait until afterwards. And I always recommend that they ask their doctor. And I think once they read all of the supplements that we take, that, they're given the clearance, because it's all like super healthy, really good stuff. In fact, it's probably helping the formation of a more nutrient dense breast milk. So however, if the person has a lot of toxins, they are going to be eliminating those toxins, and that would be the one thing that they would want to consult with their doctor about. So in general, it is a fantastic and very gentle detox program. You're not on the toilet 5 times a day at all. In fact, in one part, if you're not using the toilet and having a bowel movement once a day, then you may be advised to drink an herbal tea that will help make sure your bowels are moving. Because when you detox, you want to make sure you have a bowel movement at least once a day. That's where the toxins are going, down out in the toilet. And so that's the who. I've had youngsters as young as 14 join us for the detox program, and as old as 89. So it is, and I'm sure if anybody older wanted to do it and signed up, it would be fantastic. So who? Okay, so why are we doing this? So we do detox programs because we want to eliminate pathogens and toxins that we accumulate over the decades of our life. And if we've been on this planet for more than a decade, we have accumulated toxins. unless we're actively detoxing up to 4 times a year. So our ancestors knew this, and this was part of the tradition and the cultures around the world did detox programs for millennia. They just did them a little differently. They would go into the woods and they would find the leaves and the roots and the bark that would allow them to purge, and they would purge. And those toxins, for them, it was all about the viruses and the bacteria and the parasites and the protozoa and the different things that would, potentially cause them to either feel ill or just weaken their immune system. They were fine, but they knew that this was a process that would help them attain a higher level of health, stamina, and be able to have resilience in the world. So they did it that way. Now we don't have to do that anymore. Fortunately, we're fortunate to be here at this time, and we have the opportunity to engage in programs like Dr. Hyman's and Dr. Vioto's, where we can abstain from certain foods that are not providing us with the nutrients that we need. In fact, they're probably carrying various toxins and triggers for our body to, to show that the immune system is on auto drive. It is, out of, maybe a little out of control. It's working constantly. It is, things that also cause disease, cause us to not feel well, to inflammation, to experience a lack of mobility. And an interesting fact is that toxins, our body's pretty wise. So sugar is actually a toxin, and our immune system is engaged every time we eat sugar, which is part of the reason we get a high, because the immune system goes into high gear and it produces adrenaline. And so we get an adrenaline high. And then once, the attack is over on the sugar, then we feel that little slump. So we we know that these are things that we don't want stored in our body. And the interesting fact that I was going to share is that we have different types of cells, of course, and our fat cells are the most stable cells in our body. And that's where the different things that our body doesn't know how to get rid of naturally or easily are stored. So our fat cells are stable, and that's part of what they're used for, is to store things that the body doesn't know what to do with. So I always say, like, a side effect of the detox is we often lose weight. And the reason is we're eliminating those toxins that are inside of those fat cells. So how does it work? So we know what we're doing. We're eliminating toxins, and we're giving our body a break from the most difficult thing the body ever has to do. I always thought this was an amazing fact. I learned this through my functional nutrition school, where we learned and spent a lot of time on the digestive system. So my background is in energy healing and functional nutrition. So with the functional nutrition, when I learned that digestion is the hardest thing the body ever has to do in its entire life, I was like, wow, that's crazy. We do it like 3 times a day plus, and that's the hardest thing we do. And why is that? Well, we use so many different organs and processes in digestion. If you think about it, it starts with our brain, because when our nose, when we're using our olfactory and we're thinking about our food, we're looking at our food, or we're just anticipating our food, we trigger the enzymes to be released from our glands in our mouth. And that's part of the chemical process of digestion. And then, of course, we start chewing. So literally it goes through here, the esophagus, the stomach, the gallbladder, the liver, all of these things are engaged in digestion. And of course, the intestines and the small intestines, the large intestine, the colon, and the rectum, and the anus. So it's like a big job to get whatever we're ingesting through our body. And then once it's in the intestines, of course, it has to get through the walls of the intestines and into the bloodstream. And so when we have disease, things are getting through that lining of our gut and into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there. And that could be pretty much anything that we're ingesting that is not considered a nutrient for us, or, a phytochemical or natural phytochemical from plants, and from fruits and vegetables and proteins and the different things that provide us with our nutrients. So if it's not one of those things, anything else, the things that we talked about in the beginning, the alcohol, the sugar, the processed foods, the grains, the glutens, so many chemicals are in food today. And those things get it through. And sometimes they get through even worse, undigested, because something is malfunctioning in our digestive system. So when we engage in a detox program like this one, we're giving that digestive system a huge break, because the schedule is we start our day with a green juice, not a smoothie, so it doesn't have the fiber in it, it's just a juice. And we can buy those juices, we can make those juices however we want to do that. There are plenty available in our area and around the country and around the world. And so we have our green juice, and then we have our first solid food for lunch. And of course, the food we're eating is going to be super delicious and very nutritious and savory, and you even can have some desserts. You're not going to have sugar in them, but they might have fruit in them that help us have a little bit of sweetness still. So we're having our lunch, and then if we're hungry in the afternoon, of course, we can have an afternoon snack that is compliant with the detox, and so many things we can have. It doesn't sound like it at first, but once you see the recipe book and you realize the grocery list that you have, it's quite a lot of food that we can eat. So this is not about starving ourselves. This is not about portion control. This is about eating whole, delicious, nutritious, nourishing foods. We can even eat chicken if we eat chicken. Some of us don't eat chicken, that's fine. We can even eat salmon or fish. We are going to be eliminating the red meats and the porks during this time frame. And so then we have dinner. And dinner is also amazing and delicious. And then we are going to not have solid foods until lunch the next day. So that sounds a little scary, and it was a little hard for me because I like to have my snacks and all the things. So if we're really starving, we're super, super starving between the time we finish dinner and lunch the next day. Of course, we're having our green juice in the morning for breakfast, but we could have a little bit of protein. Maybe there's a recipe called crispy nuts, or maybe a little avocado, or maybe a little chicken or fish if we eat that. And so we're not trying to starve ourselves. What we're trying to do is give our body 12, 14, 16 hour of time frame to go into something called, it encourages apoptosis, but the process is, and the name is escaping me at this moment, but it's a process where our cells go into a recycling and a detoxing phase. Autophagy, that's what it's called. Autophagy, AUTOPHAGY, autophagy. And so what happens is our cells have time. The cells within the organs that are required for digestion, they have time, they have a break. They don't have to be digesting. It takes so much energy to digest our food. So it goes into autophagy, and they literally recycle what's in the cell itself. It could be like genetic material, it could be toxins, it could be just old cell, older cell parts, and then it spits out what it doesn't need anymore. So it's like emptying the trash. And so this happens when we allow our body the time to do that. And because of the lifestyles that most of us live these days, there's a lot of things in the world that are affecting our ability to have, a regular schedule. There are things that are, work, for example, that require us to work later and later sometimes. And then we're having dinner at 10 o'clock at night. Or, just we're grabbing things on the go that aren't actually nutrient dense or nourishing, or maybe they're even toxic. And so when we give our body time, that is like the critical time period for the detoxing to happen. And so none of us are perfect. When I did it the first few times, it was really hard. And I get better every single time I do it. And I've been doing these things a lot. So it's not about perfection. It's not about, ooh, I was bad, or ooh, I messed up. No, it's about giving yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself to taking this leap and actually joining this program and doing the best that I can, because that's all we can ask for. And so it's all you should ask of yourself. You should never beat yourself up. We always want to make sure we're congratulating ourselves for making it through the next day of the detox and waking up and doing it again. And usually the first 2 to 3 days are the more difficult. The first day is not too hard because you're kind of ready, and we prepare for 30 days in advance. So we give you lots of tips and lots of information. We give you the menus, the recipes, an awesome recipe book that are super easy to do, even if you don't cook. We also even have the food pre-prepared if you want it. So our holistic chef here at Honey's Harvest, Chef Rebecca, she and I do the detox together every single time. And we got to the point where people were asking for the food itself. So we're like, well, let's see, how would we do that? So she makes a couple of different main entrees and some snacks and freezes them and puts them in the food saver. So they're like rock solid. You just take them out, you cut open a package, or you thaw it, you can thaw it in your refrigerator for the day, and then you can just heat it up and you're all set to go. If you love to cook already, even better. You're going to get the recipes, you're going to get a daily schedule, and you get your vitamin schedule. And so we try to make it as easy and approachable to do, and not intimidating, because it comes down to eating really well is what it does for 10 days. And okay, so we get through dinner, and then maybe we make it through, and hopefully we do. We can have herbal teas. We're not going to be having caffeine. I know that's a hard one, or at least we're not having coffee or black tea. I still drink green tea. I love green tea. I did not like green tea before. I was a coffee drinker, like there's nobody's business. I used to drink 2 pots of coffee a day. And if you ever told me I would never drink coffee for 10 days, I would have told you you're out of your mind. There's no way I could ever do that. So believe me, we can do anything we want, and it's only 10 days. We just got to put our minds to it, prep ourselves, and we can do it. So yeah, 2 pots, that's what I drank. And I couldn't imagine making it through the day without. I even told my son that the day that when I'm on my deathbed, I only want you to bring me one thing, a cup of coffee. That's how much I loved coffee. So I don't need coffee anymore. If I have a cup, that's fine. If I don't, and I rarely have regular coffee. I might have mushroom coffee, which has a little bit of coffee in it and a lot of really good mushrooms, and it tastes good. So anyway, sidetracked. Okay, so that's what happens. So then we make it through the next day. We have our green juice in the morning, and we have our morning supplements, and we actually eat really good fats. That might sound kind of counterintuitive, or maybe you already know that good fats are actually really good for us. And the co-author of the program, Dr. Mark Hyman, has a book out there. It's called Eat Fat, Get Thin. So, interesting fact, when our body is deprived of good, whole, natural, hopefully organic, real fats, then it doesn't hold on to fat. When we're not giving it like good fats that it can use, then it's holding on to fat. And if we're giving it other fats like seed oils or trans fats, all these things that are very highly processed, we're actually adding to our toxic load. And these things get held in our fat cells. And so it also is very challenging for our body to just deal with these things at all. So we're having good fats. We have a tablespoon of raw organic coconut oil and a tablespoon of really high quality 100% olive oil. And I say 100% olive oil because a lot of the olive oils in the stores, while they say they're 100% olive oil, they don't, you'll look, it doesn't ever say 100% on there. It just says virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed olive oil. So when we learn more about how to tell what's a real olive oil, they actually are allowed to put other oils in there as long as they have a certain percentage of olive oil in the bottle. So we're going to make sure we have 100% really high quality, good olive oil. And we can take those in different ways. If we're having an herbal tea in the morning, we might, put some of those in our tea. Some people don't like to take it straight up. I just pretend that I'm having a tablespoon of ice cream when I have the coconut oil, try to trick myself. And I have that tablespoon of coconut oil, and I love olive oil, so that's not a problem for me. That helps satiate us along with that green juice. So we don't feel starving. We think we're going to feel starving, but we actually don't feel starving because we're giving our body what it actually wants and needs. And that green juice is like showering ourselves with nutrients. It's loaded with nutrients. And when we give our body what it wants, then the hunger pangs go away. We don't have them because it actually got what it needed. So one of the reasons that some of us eat more and more and more because we're still hungry is because we're not getting that nutrient dense food that our body craves and needs. So, okay, so we made it through, and now we're going to have our first solid food for lunch. And again, here, if we're just absolutely famished, we think we're going to fall out, we're trying to work out, we just don't have the energy, which I have never really seen happen during this, but it could. Then a little tiny piece of salmon, or a little piece, or maybe a handful of those crispy nuts I was talking about, or some seeds, or even a tablespoon of nut butter. We do avoid peanuts during the detox and peanut butter, but we can have almond butter and cashew butter and black walnut, or regular walnut butter, and there's some other butters out there, sesame seed butter. Some of those things are so amazing and so delicious, and they're very they're hearty, and they help keep us satiated too. And I know one of the favorite snacks of some of our detoxers is green apple slices with almond butter or cashew butter. So that's a great mid-afternoon snack. Okay, so here we are back at lunch, and what happened was, from whatever time we finished dinner, usually it's between 6 and 8, we finished dinner, and lunch, we haven't had solid food. That means our body detoxed that entire time. And one of the functions of sleep at night, especially for the brain, is to detox. So when we're at rest and we're not doing other things, we're not exerting energy, whether we're just, awake and thinking or reading, or we're actually working out, or we're working, or we're walking, or, we're at an event or something like that, all of that, requires energy. And so when we're sleeping at night, finally, our whole body can begin the detox process. And so the earlier we finish dinner, the better. I eat dinner really late. So that's one of my things that I was about to say earlier, is that that's the thing that I work on, is having a better dinner schedule. So, so I need to eat dinner a little earlier and finish earlier so that my body has that fasting time. If for some reason I decide I'm going to keep on working and working and working and working, or do whatever I'm doing, and I eat late, then I'm probably not going to have my first solid meal until later, even 1 or 2 o'clock. Um, so ideally, it's ideal to do it the way it was meant to be, which is you finish your dinner between 6 and 8 at the latest, and you have your first solid meal, no earlier than noon. And then you've given your body that time to go into autophagy and to literally detox at night. Okay, so that is kind of the basic schedule and the routine. At night, we have a few supplements as well. And we also have that tablespoon of coconut oil and olive oil at night. And that also helps keep us, satiated through the night. And then what are we eating? We are eating so many different vegetables. We are eating lots of berries. We can have green apples. We avoid some of the sweeter fruits like bananas, one of my favorites, by the way. We do avoid bananas for the 10 days, and we typically don't have a lot of citrus fruits during that. We can have lemons and limes, and lemon water is really good for the liver during the detox program. If you get some really great lemons, or like if you know somebody who actually grows lemons, you can eat the rind of the lemon too, because that actually is super supportive for your liver. Little sidetrack there. Okay, so we're eating that. We can have chicken, and any of the foods that we're eating, we are trying to get the highest quality we can. So we always recommend different farmers at the farmers markets. There are organic farmers in Annapolis. There are organic farmers at Honey's Harvest Market. And I'm sure there are organic farmers at many of the other farmers markets in our area and region. The importance of organics, and even if they're not certified organic, but especially when you talk to the farmers, some of them are beyond organic, like Honey's Harvest Farm, because they're not using any chemical inputs whatsoever. So they are using, like our technique at Honey's Harvest is living soil. If somebody says they're a regenerative ag farm and they grow their food in living soil, then that's going to be the most nutrient dense food you can ever get. And of course, if you're at a farmer's market, it's going to be the freshest. So the next best thing is going to be organic from the local farmers, and the next best thing is going to be organic from the grocery store. The conventional farmers around here, you can ask them about their growing techniques and their cultivation techniques and when they spray, because if they're using pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizers, those are chemicals. They are chemically based, and they are going to be toxins. There are going to be toxins in that food. And that goes for pretty much anything that's not organic or grown in living soil regeneratively. So grocery store, wherever you get your food, restaurants, most likely you're not getting organic food. And so we learn more about like, how does the food retain that? How does it get into the food? How does it get onto the food during our detox program and the reintegration program? So to the best of our ability, we're getting the highest quality food. If we can't, we can't. It's okay. We do the best we can. We're still getting the best food that we can source. And there is that organization called EWG online, is Environmental Working Group, and they put out a clean 15 and dirty dozen food list so that you understand which of the 15, the clean 15, those are the ones that are going to be the least detrimental to you if you need to save money or you don't have access to organic food. So if you get conventionally grown of the clean 15, they're going to be the least toxic of all, because the farmers are using less chemicals or a less worse chemical to begin with. The dirty dozen are the ones you really want to try to get organic or regeneratively grown, because those are going to be the more toxic ones. And that's right online. It's a free list. It's Environmental Working Group. And that's a really cool website. They actually rate a lot of other products that we use on the day-to-day and let you know kind of their rating on them as far as what's good for our body. Because all of those other things, the cleaning supplies, the beauty supplies, even clothing, those things are where a lot of our toxins are coming from. So toxins, there are a lot of toxins in our cleaning supplies, even our beauty care products, our soaps, shampoos, so many things. The air that we breathe is less clean than it used to be, of course. And fire retardants are in our furniture, on our furniture, in our walls, in our paints, and those are toxins. So if you live next to someone or you frequent an area, maybe an office building where they use herbicides on the lawns, you walk through, you see the little sign up that says don't walk on the grass, depending on how long ago they sprayed. I mean, that's airborne, right? So we breathe that in too. So this is why we detox, because we're going to give our body time to eliminate these things. And the nourishing food supports our body during a detox. It cleans out our system. The supplements support, and they actually catalyze the detox pathways in our liver to go into also high gear and just kind of push those toxins out, filter them very efficiently and effectively, and then send them out the back door. So that's one part of the supplement regimen. We also use supplements to boost our immune systems, because as we're detoxing, we can be detoxing viruses and things that we've been exposed to and that have been stored safely, in our fat cells potentially. Then we're detoxing those, and the supplements will support our immune system in, kind of getting them out and making sure that we stay healthy. Some people have felt like they have a cold or a flu at the first couple of three or 4 days at the most, but they're actually detoxing, because when we push those back out through the blood system, then we sometimes feel like we're sick again, but we're not sick. We're literally detoxing. There's also a reaction called the Herxheimer's reaction, and that is when we are killing off pathogens and they're being carried out through the bloodstream. That is a process that can make us feel the symptoms again, as if we had that. And that's very common, especially with tick-borne illnesses. If we've ever been exposed to Lyme disease, we can get some of those feelings. But once you get to day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're like, oh, wow, I feel so good. My brain's working better. I don't have that joint pain. I feel less sluggish. I feel energized. And by day 10, you're like, oh my gosh, I never want to lose this feeling again. And that's why we introduced the reintegration program for free, because what do I do now? What if I just go back to eating everything I ate before? Am I going to feel this bad? That's how I felt before. So we really want to walk you through that whole process. So we've taken our supplements at morning and night. One of the supplements we take is magnesium citrate. And that's the one that really ensures that we are going to continue having bowel movements throughout the detox process. The 2 doctors did spec out these particular supplements, this brand Pure. It's a fantastic brand. It's a great name for it, because they don't use a lot of the preservatives that almost every single vitamin supplement jar seems to have in it. We take this, so the magnesium we take at night, and that way the next day we're going to be sure to have a bowel movement. We take quite a bit of that. We start slowly if you don't already take magnesium. Some people need more and some people need less. We take up to, I think it's 6 or 7 of those capsules a night. Some people only need 2 or 3. The Detox Pure Pack, this is a fantastic, it's like having the best multivitamins plus the catalyst for detoxing. We take 1 packet a day. I think each packet has 9 capsules in it. That's in the morning. We take, not that one, that's an extra. We take B12 and D3. The D3 is going to be really helpful for our immune system. And the B12, actually, this vitamin is so vital for so many of our processes in our cells and in our brain. So many people feel better just by taking vitamin B12. We're very deficient these days on that vitamin. This is NRF2 detox. This is something that also catalyzes the detox process. It's actually made from broccoli sprouts. And the omegas, our fish oils, we are taking these at night. If you are vegan, then we have another option for you. And then ascorbic acid or vitamin C. We're going to be taking vitamin C. And zinc. We're taking zinc, and that's great for our immune system as well. It's interesting. A lot of people of our population in this country are naturally deficient in zinc, D3, and C. And of course, the B12. And C is really important for so many processes. The DHA, so the ones we take at night are just, let's see, it's just these 2. So we're only taking 2 vitamins at night, along with our oils, our good fats. Okay, so that's the rundown through the supplement program. We also take a probiotic, which is actually in the refrigerator. It's called Probiotic 5, and it's a great probiotic, especially if you don't take probiotics on a regular basis. It's an effective one, but it's very gentle. So it's a great way to begin introducing really healthy, as they say, good bacteria into our guts, again, into our digestive tract. So super helpful for more efficient digestion. And okay, so let's see here. Okay, exercise, movement. So it's great if you already have an exercise program. And if you don't, it's a great time to just slowly introduce more movement into your life. The more you can do it on a daily basis, the better. And it may not be feasible for many of us to do that. And anything is better than nothing. I always say 5-7 minutes is better than 0 minutes. So it's not like we're going to say, hey, you better be out there for an hour doing like heavy cardio work. No, not at all. I mean, walking, if possible, for 15-20 minutes a day is fantastic. If you are already more active, then keep it up. Just keep it up. So we try to do that. And that does a couple of things. It does a lot of things, and you learn more about that in the detox program. One of the most important reasons to have some movement, even like after dinner, taking a walk is great because the stomach needs help digesting. The stomach digests mainly like a washing machine, just kind of, it doesn't have a pump like a heart. It doesn't have any things that are like moving it around. So when we move, not necessarily going out and sprinting, we know we could get a cramp that way, but a nice, walk is great after dinner to help the stomach really digest, or after any meal, really. Okay, let me think. All right, and then when we have the 30 days of preps, that's all online. So the whole program is online. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to show up for any of our activities. We offer activities during the detox so that if you want to, you can be kind of pampered and treated, especially the 1-day retreat on the kickoff day, July, I think it's 14th, 13th or 14th, whatever the Saturday is. I should know that. That day we have a day retreat that starts here. I'm upstairs in our loft, right in our studio at the farmhouse. So Honey's Farmhouse is where we host our retreats, and we, somebody else is coming in now. I'll make sure I send this recording to her because she's missed a little bit. So we are going to we are going to have that retreat, and it starts at 9 in the morning. And we'll introduce to you your first green juice for the day. It is so delicious. Chef Rebecca juices it that morning. We use greens from the farm. We put green apples in it, so it has a little bit of sweetness for us, and it just tastes really good. So we're gonna start with our green juice, and then we're gonna have a breathwork circle with Trish, which is amazing for detox. We naturally detox with our breath. Every breath we take, we're detoxing. I mean, our body is built to detox. That's what it does. And so we have a breathwork class, and it's guided, and you get to release even more toxins with an active breathwork class. So that's amazing experience. And then we're going to have a little break. Oh, between 9 and 10, we have a nature meditation, sort of. We get grounded, and we talk about the day, so we understand what the day is going to look like. And so we have an opening circle separate from the breath work. And then we join the breath work, and then we're going to have a little break and then lunch, and a most delicious lunch on that first day of the detox. All detox friendly, of course, including dessert. You're going to be amazed if you get to come to it. And then in the afternoon on this particular retreat, and Karis, if she's still here, she can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're doing an herbal tea. So we're going to go out a workshop. We're going to go out and forage the herbs. We're already going to have the dried herbs that we use here at the farm, and we're going to learn how to formulate our own tea from seed to your cup of tea. We're going to have tea and snacks, and for those who want, we'll do a little bit of movement in the afternoon, and then we'll have an amazing dinner. And I believe this one, I can't remember if this one includes a sound healing or not. It may or may not, depending on what time it ends. So I need to have my little brochure next to me. Don't think I have one on me right now, so we'll have to look it up online. So that's you can use that as an opportunity to kick off, and if not, then you do all this at home. So let's see what this looks like. See if I can get it here. Let me use this like that. We'll go to detox. Oh no, we'll go here to retreats. Upcoming retreats. Summer retreat. Oh, that's tonight. Oh, I'm gonna go there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, closing circle. Okay, so we're gonna have, oh, the foraging farm tour is at 2. Okay, so we're going to be gathering at in the afternoon. We're going to be gathering lots of berries that are detox friendly right off of the vines. We're going to gather greens. You're going to have food to take home to use for your detox, and then we'll have a snack, and a meditation, yeah, and then a farm to table dinner and a closing circle. So the overnight includes the sound healing because it does kind of lull us to sleep. So we have to be careful. We usually stay overnight at the October retreat. So, and that one also could kick off a detox if you wanted to do one at that time. Okay, let's see. So that is pretty much the summary of what we're going to be doing. I have this back here to show you that this is something separate that many of us did last year after the summer retreat. After the summer detox. And we did it in a small group after we did have a spring detox last year, and we will have 4 next year as well. So we'll have January, April, July, and October in 2025. This year we're just doing 2. So we had January, now we're going to have July. But we tried this as a small group, like a little mini clinical study ourselves before we were going to sell it in the store, because we didn't want to offer something that didn't work. But this thing is amazing. And if you're interested in really healing your gut, this is a fantastic company, and it's an incredible product. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. It has all the instructions on it. It is a 3-month program. And the concept is that it restores the health of our gut, and it actually works. Basically, it's creating better conditions in your intestines so that the good bacteria can populate. We have good bacteria if we're alive, so we don't need to worry. We do have it, and the second month, we're actually feeding all the good bacteria with an amazing prebiotic, and we're layering these things on. In the last month, we're literally healing our mucosal layer in our gut. And I have all kinds of beautiful like posters and graphics to kind of outline what that looks like. But I wanted to stop here and open up for questions that anybody might have. I give you a lot of information. If you have a question or a comment, you can unmute yourself and just chat, ask, and look in the chat box here. July 13th is a Saturday. Thank you. Yeah, so it starts July 13th. 13th through 22nd, I think it is.
So we do a 30-day prep that we do online before we start detox, right?
Yes, and that basically just means you're getting your mind ready. So you're understanding what you're going to be doing. Everything I just said, we're going to talk about again. It's like, if you hear it and think about it and imagine it, it's like when you get ready to do it, your brain thinks you've already done it. So it's much more smooth and seamless. If you go in cold turkey, which a lot of people love to do, and that's just their mindset, and they're like, I'm doing this and I'm going to do it the best of my ability, and I'm going to start on day one. I don't want to know anything in advance. I have people tell me that. Don't tell me anything. I'm just going to do it. Fantastic. Don't log in. Don't look at all the tips and tricks. Don't join the live Q&As. Just do it. You don't need the 30 days. We never had that. It's just that so many people seemed a little bit intimidated, and it was a way to help them learn earlier and be more prepared, because some people are big planners too, right? They want to map out every single day. They want to know what they're going to eat. They're going to buy, 3 days worth of food from Chef Rebecca, and then they're going to make the rest themselves. So everybody's different, but we wanted to make the program as comprehensive and useful to as many different types of learning processes that are out there that might be interested in the program. So you don't have to do anything the first 30 days at all. Like, you can literally eat junk food, have coffee up until like Saturday morning, you know what I mean? And then you start. Some people like to taper off their coffee if they were like I was when I used to drink 2 pots a day. And so we kind of had that option for you, where you can kind of taper back up until that Friday, where you might be having a half a cup of decaf or something like that. And then the next day, it's not so difficult. So yeah, the 30 days is we have a private group online, and you have access to the full program. So you're getting all of the recipes, all of the schedules, the shopping list, the supplement list. The supplements you can purchase at the store. You can purchase them online. You may already have some of these, so you don't need to purchase them if you already have them or have some of them. Most people don't go carrying around this Ultra Detox Pure Pack. So that one is one you might need. You may use most of these things already, or you may use none of them. If you don't use any of them and you wind up getting them all, then you actually will have things that you might decide you want to continue to take, because you're not going to use the full bottle. You're going to use, for 10 days of the DHA, for example, this has 60 soft gels in it, and you're only going to use, you're going to use 20. So you're going to have 40 soft gels left. So if you're like, oh, you know what, that fish oil makes my brain a little bit sharper, then you still have them. So you have plenty. And if you just hold them until the next detox, with the supplements here, you could get through you get through 2 more detoxes after that. And some you might even have for another detox. But I think that would pretty much wipe them out after that. So yeah, that's a good question. So that's what we do during the first 30 days.
And Chef Rebecca's food we can get there at the farm?
Yes, we will have it online. It may already be open now. I think it is. I think it's on the store, and you can order it, and we'll have it ready for you before the detox starts. And you can decide to get, just a few or a whole week's worth, or the whole 10 days. I think she has it in groups of 3 days and 5 days. So I know some people will get, 2 5s to cover the whole time, and some people will get 2 3s just to make sure that it's easier for them, but they want to save some money. Or just 1 3. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I just have to say, Chef Rebecca is wonderful.
Yes.
Her food is delicious.
I agree, 100%. Other questions, clarifications?
You also have have had, I think you've had classes with Chef Rebecca, right? Teaching you how to make these things?
We do. We offer during our overnight retreats, we always have a cooking class. And so the October is the next one where she'll be actually instructing for cooking. We have done some private classes. Her schedule is very tight. So, I think if you can get to an overnight retreat, you're going to get the best value because if you take a private class, you're probably going to pay almost the same price you would pay for an entire retreat to spend a couple 3 hours with her. So it's a really good value if you can do it. And that one is, let me see when that one is. Let's look at the screen again. Let's go here. And then let's see here. Okay. The autumn weekend retreat is Saturday, October 12th through Sunday, October 13th. But you do get a ton of videos, by the way, on the detox program, and she's doing some demos on there. So you get free demos. And yeah, during that 30 days of prep, you do probably want to log in at least and look at the information because there's quite a bit. And there are even some like movies you can watch, documentaries and things that help you like understand things, a little bit more. So it's worth it. And like I said, her videos can be helpful. A lot of those videos for prep are during the reintegration, but you have access to that at some point during the detox, so you can look ahead and see some of that too. And then we already have our January retreat up, which is going to be a kickoff for our winter detox program, which is a great time to detox too. You're kind of like right in the middle of it. And we'll have a spring one this year. We'll have a spring as well. So that'll be nice. After the winter, it's a great time to detox too. I just love detoxing 4 times a year.
Question. I take a lot of supplements already. Would I just stop taking those supplements and take the ones that you are prescribing for the 10-day?
That's a great question. So I'm going to say it depends because you might have some that would do the trick. You might not have all of them. So we could potentially minimize your investment in more supplements and just analyze, and I can do that complimentary as part of the program. Just look through them with you and say, okay, this is covering this, so don't, invest in that one,
Okay,
kind of thing.
okay. And of course, the retreat is an optional thing.
Yes, all the
Okay.
retreats, they're open to anyone and everyone. So a lot of people are just wanting to get a little, put their toe in the door and see what is this like, and it doesn't even feel like you're detoxing at all. Like you don't even know that you are unless you came because of that, or you just realized it once you got there. So a lot of people, just have a great retreat. So yeah, so some people will be doing the detox that are there and some people will not be doing the detox that are there.
And Anna, that's a separate cost from the detox program, right?
Yes, the detox is $249 and the retreats, let's go back and look just so I get it right. $249 for all of that. It is a steal. Dr. Alberto, when he leads these programs, I mean, he has an in-person program. It's $8,000 for basically 5 days. I mean, he's a medical anthropologist. He wrote the book, and he's amazing. So his program online, the last time I did one with him after school, just to kind of see what he was doing, and it was I think it was $549, and you spent about $1,500 in supplements. It was incredible. It was expensive. And it was it was a lot of supplements. It was way more than his original program. So, it was a bit, I don't want to say excessive, but it was definitely a lot. So it's good. I mean, it's great if you want to do that. I think it's great to do that maybe once in a lifetime. I don't think I'll ever do it again. But he's great. He's really good. And so anyway, you get $249 you get basically 50 days with Rebecca and I for $249. So you're getting the 30 days of prep, you're getting the 10 days of detox, and you're getting 10 more days of reintegration. So it's it's a time investment for us, and we know how much it helps people. And I would imagine that over the next couple of years, I'm sure the price will be going up a little bit. As the program gets a little bit more popular and that kind of thing. The supplements, depending on it, whether you buy them all or you only need a few, some people have spent as little as $15 because maybe all they need is zinc. I think this one's like $11 or something and 80 cents maybe. Or for the whole thing, not including the gut restoration, this is definitely separate. This one runs just by itself. It's not part of the detox. It's completely separate. This runs about I think it's $119 a month. So for the whole 3-month thing, it's somewhere in the 340, 150 range, 350 range, something like that. But all of these are going to run about 340, somewhere in that range, 340, 350. So $249 for the program. If you're buying all the supplements, then it's about, I think it's $349 actually. So $249, $349, and then that's it for the detox, because reintegration is now free. It used to be an add-on. So if you're going to do a retreat, let's take a look at the prices on the retreats. I think the full day retreat is $229. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and three classes or workshops during that time period. And we do a presentation during lunch where we talk about the detox. We talk about chronic illness and, what is that and why do we get it and what do we do about it? For every retreat that we have, we conduct a roundtable, and it has some, it has a screen and some slides for you to look at, and we encourage a lot of discussion so people can get, questions answered. It's very, I don't know, it's very engaging, and you feel like you're within, a really safe space with a community that's really caring about their health. And they want to, what they can do. They want to take their health back into their own hands and feel more empowered. And so they're really beautiful conversations that we have. And this one, we're going to talk a little bit about long COVID, and we're going to talk about some of the effects of those of us who have potentially had long COVID, or maybe we even had a reaction from one of the treatments, one of the shots, perhaps. And so we'll talk about what that could be and what do we do about that? Is that contributing to whatever it is that we're dealing with or not? So we address some of the more prevalent root causes of some of the autoimmune and chronic illness that we see in the world today. And then for let's see what the overnight is. That's the 229. Okay. So we're going to go back to this.
While you're looking, can I ask a quick question? Really, you could do this without being in Anne Arundel County. I mean, you could, because of everything online.
Oh, definitely. I have people that do it all around the
I'm just
country.
thinking about my sisters. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the very first detox we ever did, we had a guy in Florida and a lady in West Virginia joining us. So yes, 100%. Okay, so this one is $449. That's overnight. The overnight room is separate. So this is for the retreat, and then you get a room, and they range from, I think, $149 to $199 for the overnight rooms. Why is this doing this?
So I'll ask a quick question. Being local, then, and can you do the overnight without staying? Just driving?
We had that. We have had that option in the past. It just would depend on.
How many register?
Yes, exactly. That's right. So, okay, let's see here. So, okay, there's the herbal. I knew we had an herbal tea workshop, so that's super fun. So we have that on Saturday, and it's a similar program, schedule, but then we have the sound healing at night, one of my favorite things ever. And then the next day we have the breakfast, which is going to be for this one, this is not strictly detox. You actually get a full breakfast. This is October. We are not hosting a detox program in October. So you get a really nice breakfast, and then you get the tour with me. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. We get the tour, and we're going to go do foraging. We'll have figs that time of year and potentially pawpaws, and it's going to be super fun. And then you get the cooking demo with Chef Rebecca. And then you have your lunch, which she just prepared for you and taught you how to make it. And then we have the departure around 2 o'clock. And we have a little round table chat at the end of the retreat and a little closing circle. And there she is with the Japanese sweet potatoes that we grow. Actually, this is the Stokes purple sweet potato or the Okinawa sweet potato soup. It's so good, so delicious. And that's a cashew cream on top and some of our fresh rosemary. And so we try to use as much of the products that we're growing here as possible. Probably be having a fire ceremony too. Right before the sound healing, we'll do a little fire.
Is there any problem with medications we may take, or do we need to check with our doctors if we've got autoimmune diseases or?
So my recommendation is always to check with your doctor. You can bring him the supplement list or her. You can also ask a pharmacist, is there any supplement interaction? I've looked those up for people before as well. So other than the supplements, there shouldn't be anything else that would cause an issue because it's all really good, high quality, delicious, amazing food. And we're drinking a lot of water, herbal teas, and you can have green tea if you like green tea or just want to try it because you like a little bit of caffeine in your life. But most people are continuing to take all of their medication. It's a good question. And even if, like, this is one thing, I had one poor lady who she takes herbal supplements, and she was using our elderberry syrup from the farm, which does have two things that we don't have on the detox. It has honey and brandy in it. But I say take your elderberry syrup if your body likes it and is used to it, because it's such a good immune booster. So that's a little cheap there, but it's well worth it because she unfortunately she actually got sick during the detox. And I think her immune system so much needed those herbs and the elderberry that it was like, wait a minute, you're detoxing all this junk. And now I'm really stressed and I don't have my good stuff that you give me every single day of your life. So I always remind people that if you do use like the elderberry syrup, just keep using it. It's okay. It's a little tiny bit. Mhm.
So Anna,
Yes.
so all of what you mentioned is all different parts of this program with all different prices. Is that what I'm getting? And I have to go online and look at all the
Here,
different parts of this to get the whole experience.
let me show you. The only thing you need to get the experience is the detox program. I'd highly recommend that you get the supplements if you don't already have them, because they really do make it more effective. But to get the experience, the only thing you need is the detox program. And the detox program is $249. And you get 30 days of online preparation. You're going to be invited to a private online group. It's not on Facebook. It's a private group. You're going to have access to the entire program, the whole 50 days. As soon as you join, as soon as you sign up, you'll get a confirmation that you signed up, and then you'll get a welcome email 30 days prior to the start date. So June 13th, maybe the 12th, 13th, somewhere in there, you'll get an email that gives you access to the program. It's an online program on a platform called Teachable. That's where we built our program. And so you'll get the whole program. You'll get 3 welcome videos right away. You'll have access to the menus, the recipes, the schedule, the grocery list. We do a pre-detox survey that's just for you. You don't have to share it with anybody or me or anything like that. It's just to kind of rate your level of toxins that might be in your body. And then you do that afterwards to see what the difference is. And you're going to be like kind of listing your symptoms, how you feel. And it asks you a whole bunch of questions. That's just something for you. And then there are other things in there too. There are extra videos about different breathing techniques that you can use during the detox that help your body detox and just help you relax too, and help you kind of relieve stress. So during that 30 days, we're talking a lot about stress relief, because stress impacts our ability to digest effectively. So you get all of this plus the 10 days of guided detox plus my cell phone, so you can text me and say, does this olive oil work? I'm in the grocery store. Plus the 9 days of reintegration. All of that is $249. And then if you need the supplements, or you have some, but you want to get the other ones, because I do recommend that, then you will, have an extra money spent for the supplements. The retreats are separate. They are just a thing that we do, and we're going to continue to do, and hopefully we're going to be adding more and more and more retreats. That's our goal, as we kind of build our team and we have the bandwidth to do that. So detox are going to be here. Retreats are going to be here for hopefully as long as, as we're here. And we encourage you to try one out. You don't have to do the detox to do a retreat. Most people honestly aren't on the detox. They just come for a retreat because they were looking for a healthier retreat, and they want to be with people who are, into that. So that's separate. I was just sharing it because a lot of people who do the detox like to do the retreats, especially the ones that are detox friendly, because it's a soft way to get started and to not have to do everything yourself on that very first day. Next year, we're contemplating the idea of having an extended retreat for those who want to have a full immersion detox experience. We have not put that on our books yet because that's a hefty lift, and it will have a price tag associated with it, So is it a 5-day? Is it a 4-day? Is it a 10-day? Is it a 7-day? So just to be clear, retreats are completely separate, really have nothing to do with the detox whatsoever. So the program is $249. The supplements, if you buy them all, it's about $349. And you can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them from somebody else. You don't have to buy them from us. We charge the lowest price that Pure Encapsulations allows us to charge. In fact, one of our people at Sam works in the store. She used to buy hers from a place up in Gambrills, and she said she was paying 4 times the amount that she pays at our store. So, but you might be able to find Amazon meeting our prices or whatever. And I'm sure other places do charge the lowest they can charge also. So you don't have to get those from us. And if you have a vitamin C that you love, use it. If you have a zinc that you love, definitely use it. And if you have a fish oil, a lot of people take fish oil at night, or a DHA or omega-3, use it. Like, you don't have to spend more money if you can't, or don't want to, or you just don't want to take the supplements at all. It's totally up to you. You can use this the way you want to use it and the way it works for you. That's a great question. So $249 to have access to everything.
Can I ask a question, kind of in your expert opinion on nutrition and stuff? How much play do you think, like, the foods we eat really has to do with these autoimmune diseases? Like for instance, what they say, I have psoriatic arthritis. I'm just
Yes.
curious.
So, as my mentor and instructor, Andrea Nakayama of the Functional Nutrition Alliance would say, and she said, you know what I'm going to say, and it's never the answer you want to hear, is it depends. The truth is that food is probably the number one contributor to autoimmune disease, whether it's the food itself, what's in the food, or the way our body's able to or not able to process that food. So a good percentage of the cause, part of the root cause of autoimmune, is due to our food and our digestion. I'm going to pull up and just put it in the chat. Let me get this over here. My link, so you can do a free 15-minute call so I can explain some things.
Okay, thank
Offline.
you.
Take
Like,
this.
I've already found that nightshades affect me horribly, especially potatoes, which I love, but I can't really eat them anymore.
That's a really good point. So I didn't go through everything that we're eliminating. I went through a lot of it. We do eliminate nightshades during the detox for that very reason, because for some people it is a toxin. For others, it's a superfood. So we're so bio-individual, like, we're so unique. We're all biologically unique. And so, we can't really treat everybody the same and expect to get the same results. And the
Right.
same thing is for the detox. So some of the things that we're eliminating some of you might be like, wow, I feel really good when I eat eggs, for example. I love eggs. I need eggs. And somebody else might say, I had no idea that eggs were making me feel bloated, or they were, making giving me a headache. It's kind of interesting. So,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely.
Hannah,
Yes.
question, will the integration be us introducing foods back in? So
Yes.
that we will see which foods we can and cannot tolerate?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it's for. So you bring in the most popular foods that we've eliminated one by one, and then we give you substitutes for them so that you can say, well, if I drink, coffee, these are some other things that are really good and much better for us and very similar to coffee. And same thing for all of the most popular things. And then you can track and see, do I notice anything or do I not? And some of them are a little tricky. Things like gluten can take some people, it can be in your system for 30 days and you don't recognize it. It's like this, they call it subclinical. You can barely tell, until something happens where you get sick or you get some sort of diagnosis, and then you realize maybe I should try to take that out for a while because I felt so good during the detox, but I didn't get an immediate reaction. Um, but I don't feel as good as I did before. And that's one of the things that I decided to keep in my routine. So it's really it's fascinating because it's kind of like you're your own detective and you get to figure this out. And I got really sick too. I got really, really sick, which is why I do what I do today. And I was so sick that the next step for me was the PICC line to the heart with the 22 pills that I was taking every day. And, at that moment, I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing that. I'd rather not be here. And I had 3 little children, and I looked at them and I said, I have to stay. I have to stay here. So I have to figure this out. And so, through a long 4.5 year process, and finally the last 6 months, I was able to, find my formula that worked for me and heal. And so I don't take any pharmaceuticals at all anymore. I do take supplements. I feel amazing. And I hope, for the, what do they say? The luck of the Irish, and God willing, I will, be around a little bit longer to feel this good and be able to share, how to do that with people. So I literally changed my career back in 2009 in the slow process and became a certified functional nutrition counselor and a certified energy healer. Those were the 2 things that did it for me after seeing many doctors up and down the East Coast to try to solve my chronic illnesses, I should say. So you can do it. I promise you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's easy. I mean, it took me a really long time, but if you have the fortitude and the resilience and you keep coming back, because when we're sick, we feel terrible. We don't want to work this hard. You need a support system. You need to find the right people and try the different things. Not everything I tried worked. A lot of things didn't work. The majority of them didn't work. So I had to find what worked for me. And that's the beauty of functional medicine and functional healing, is that's the whole point, is you get to the roots, you figure out how to address them one by one, and then you've peeled back all the layers, and all of a sudden you find that beautiful blossom in there, and you start to flower again.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. I want to feel vibrant again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course, absolutely. Linda, did you have something? I can't hear you for some reason. It doesn't look like you're muted, but
Can you hear me
your
now?
sound, now I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Rebecca's Meals, I would be interested in purchasing some of them as part of the program. I'm looking online. It says right now some of the honey meal packages are sold out. Would there be something separate, like available for us, or
Oh, definitely. They'll so
we'll talk about
usually
that in
about 2
30
weeks.
days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, usually about 2 weeks out, she'll make sure they're fully stocked. The freezers, in fact, they're probably beginning the prep now because we're starting to harvest a lot of things. So
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. I'm just going to send a little reminder to Karis to make sure she gets that turned back on again.
So just to be clear, if we want to do this, when do we start? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do first?
Thank you for asking that question. And sometimes I forget some of the most important things. Um, the basics. So you can literally go online and you can register whenever you're ready to register. And I will share that again. Where did that go? Of course I closed it. So let's see here. Honey's Harvest Detox. Okay. So you can go here. Okay. So here are the different things. Oh yeah, that's right. We have a deal for if two people want to do it together. So okay, so here's a 10-day detox and 9-day reintegration program. You just click on that and then you can select when you want to do it. So let's say it's summer 2024. You want one detox program, you add it to your cart, and then it says you may list any goals you have. So let's say whatever, inflammation. It was really interesting. I don't think Karis would have a problem if I share this with you all. I don't know if she's on here still. Karis, are you on here on the call? If you are, you can unmute yourself. I think she just was, I think she was checking in earlier to make sure I was here. So she came in, but anyway, we have team lunch every Thursday at the farm and we have a meeting at the lunch and we were talking about the detox program and oh no, we were talking about gluten. So we were talking about, oh, that's right. Okay. We were talking about why is the house gluten-free? Why is the retreat house gluten-free? That's so odd. And so Chef Rebecca and I were explaining to the team, like, why is the retreat house gluten-free? So we want everybody to be able to come to the retreat house and have a relaxing stay and not worry that they're celiac and they're going to have a reaction or something. So our kitchen is 100% gluten-free. And Kara shared with us that she's done the detox a few times. She's our administrator. She'll be helping, with all the administrative aspects of the detox and everything at Honey's Harvest Farm, that she just realized, and she's been with us for, I think, 3 years now, that she literally can feel heat in her knees when she eats gluten. And, Rebecca was so excited. She's like, oh my God, your body's talking to you. You can tell it's telling you what it needs and what it doesn't need. And she said, yeah, I realized gluten, my body does not like gluten. It's not good for my body. So that's what the detox does. It helps us kind of get reconnected to our body and to really understand, what does this body like? That body over there might like, for me, my body doesn't like whey, WHEY. And so for somebody else, it could be like, I don't know, really helpful for them. For me, it's like a toxin. So yes, anyway, that's what it does. And I thought that was really cool. But yes, that's all you do is you just sign up there and then you add it to your cart and then you go find your cart. Same thing anywhere else and check out. I don't know what, I bought 2. The masterclass. Okay, free masterclass. So yeah, that's it. And then once you do that and pay, you will receive an email from Kara. She'll be welcoming you to the detox program, and she'll tell you when the private online community group opens. And I think she'll give you immediate access to the teachable program. And there'll be certain things that will already be opened up and ready for you. Like I think the welcome videos will be open and ready. And then I think everything else starts a little bit later once we get into the 30 days. But you'll have access to all the documents, to the menus, all the things. You'll have access to all of that right away. So, and then I will see you online. And if you come to the farm or the farm store, or you need to purchase something or pick up your meals, we always make arrangements for you to come. You can pick up anything that we have here at the farm store 7 days a week during the day. So I think it's from like 10 to 7 or something like that. So you can pick up and we'll have everything ready for you. We'll either be greeting you, or if it's something we can put in a cooler with a bag, your name on it, it'll be ready for you just inside the big barn. And or your supplements, you can pick them up anytime you want. We can mail them to you, whatever's best for you. That's how it goes. Thanks for asking that again. Anybody else? Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for taking this time to learn about this program and for investing this time into yourself. It's so hard sometimes in our busy schedules and our days to really think about ourselves. And one of the things we talk a lot about in the detox program is how so important that is and how so generous that is to actually take care of yourself, because we know that when we actually do, nobody else has to, because we take care of ourselves and we're healthier and we're stronger and we're, more resilient and we're there for people. It's when we, the culture kind of teaches us that it's selfish to take time for yourself, and it's so much the opposite. So I just really appreciate your taking this time tonight and being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Anna, good night.
Thank you so much. Look forward
Bye.
to seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.